Tyrese Gibson, talented actor, incredible singer, on the A-list. And let's hope he has A-list money. He indicates he does, because the superstar has been ordered to pay $636,000, so much of it in child support. Here's what's going on inside a Georgia courtroom. Last month, the singer, Fast and Furious actor Tyrese Gibson was ordered to pay nearly $650,000 as a result of a tumultuous court battle with his ex-wife. An Atlanta judge ruled the voluntary child support payment, voluntary, of $2,236 the star had been making to his ex, Samantha Lee, for some 2 years, simply wasn't enough for their 3-year-old daughter. Judge Kevin Farmer increased the support order to $10,690, in line with another child support order out of California, which covered the actor's older daughter. He ordered the Fast and Furious star to pay that increased amount retroactively plus interest, totaling more than $230,000. Judge Farmer also ordered Gibson must cover $399,000 of Samantha Lee Gibson's legal fees. And it's the legal fees that have been a huge contention for the superstar. As the couple's prenup indicates, they would each be responsible for their own legal bills. Show you video of Tyrese inside the courtroom last month.
And we also were hoping to accomplish shedding light on Samantha Gibson making well over $100,000 a year outside of what I make per year, and the necessary needs of the actual child are beyond met.
I understand. And you're aware that if you pay these amounts and then the Court of Appeals reverses it, you don't get your money back.
I am well aware of it. Yes, ma'am.
Do you want the court to consider you paying it into a bond so that in the event, whatever the court rules, no one is prejudiced?
I would want to know more about what this means as far as a bond, but if I could position myself to show any intentionality to do that, if that's the final outcome, then I'll take care of it. But doing something that is beyond the scope of the law, it feels like punishment. It feels like it's just unnecessary. And if the roles were reversed, I just really feel like I wouldn't be sitting here.
Superstar actor on the A-list with the #1 movie out right now, Fast and Furious. Tyrese Gibson says this is unfair. Per a previous ruling, the Sweet Lady singer balked at the $10,000 plus monthly amount in child support. He argued the $2,000 plus amount was in line with the Georgia child support calculator, telling the judge that his ex-wife makes good money on her own and that anything more was an excessive amount. Yesterday, in front of the same judge, Gibson's attorney, Tanya Mitchell Graham, detailed the errors in the previous ruling. Graham is no stranger to celebrity clients. She scored wins for superstars Ludacris, Usher, others. But Judge Farmer held firm. His previous decision stands. Attorney Graham says they plan to appeal as soon as the judge's order has been submitted. They've already filed a motion for a new trial. Gibson, some say, isn't helping his cause by speaking freely on social media. He's been vocal about this judge, the proceedings. His complaints include that the judge is racist and that the judge referred to his ex-wife as a bitch in chambers. The star also posted screenshots of a separate message he says he received from an anonymous person who claimed similar behavior by this judge. Gibson also said that he and his lawyers tried to get a new judge citing abuse of power and that supporters of his were turned away from standing outside the courtroom and praying with him. The Stay singer also expressed his displeasure that limited press were allowed inside the courtroom while the proceedings were taking place and alleged the Fulton County judge had a history of ruling against fathers. There are legal issues here that seem clear, the prenup doctor, the rest. But what about Tyrese Gibson, superstar from humble beginnings, who says this judge is racist and I'm not getting a fair shake as a Black man in this courtroom?
I don't really know the inner workings of the case. Gibson, one of my heroes for many people, but I think it's important to step back and say, why do we have these kind of laws and rulings in the first place? It's because we've got a very long history in this country and elsewhere of fathers, breadwinners having children and then skipping out, denying. And so we have these kind of laws, particularly for these kind of cases, right? That they kind of take all the proceeds into account, and they say, what's the responsibility of having a child, and what does that entail? And then there's also a history of men saying they're being victimized. This kind of idea of anti-male behavior. We're having a big debate right now in this country about what does it mean to be a man. Josh Hawley, of all people, has a book out about masculinity and traditional values that suggests the kind of the paternalism that we want to come back. And so I think there's a bigger context in the world right now. And I honestly just personally don't think we should be super sympathetic to men who claim that they're the victim. And I don't know this case, but I would just say it's kind of, until proven otherwise, there's a long history of men basically shirking their responsibilities in these cases. But I do think as we basically ban abortion in this country, block access to reproductive choice, limit, now they're saying even possibly the birth control pill, having a national conversation about what it means to be a father is something that we're going to be having a lot of. And so I think this case is timely in ways that I think are probably unexpected.
He wants to talk more about it, Dr. Metzl. Tyrese Gibson is someone who, even the mother, I believe, has said is very involved with his children, voluntarily paying that lesser amount. But with Father's Day coming up, I think you're right. It is time for a national, perhaps a global conversation on what it means to be a father and all the feeder issues that stem from that in court or otherwise.